everything about discipline. And every day, like, you know, train, sleep, eat, repeat. It's have to become your lifestyle and everything here in mental. Like people ask me like, when you become champion, what you feel like? And I said, no, in my mind, I was always champion.
You got to figure it out, right? If you really have an obsession to figure it out, you will figure it out, right? And every puzzle is constructed differently, right? AI's situation when he came into the league was different than mine. Mike's situation in Chicago was different than mine, right? Everybody has a different puzzle, man. You just got to figure out your own puzzle.
Romans 8:18, the pain of what you're feeling is nothing compared to the joy that's coming. The reality is, that's life, isn't it? No matter what shit situation happens, something good's coming.
If you want to go from where you are to where you want to be, you're going to have to do something that makes you more different, more weird, more easy to be mocked. Everybody that has got from a place where they don't want to be to one where they are, there's a point where they're so different that they can't resonate with their old set of friends, but they're not yet sufficiently developed that they've created their new set of friends. And there's this temptation to go back to the old patterns, the old ways of thinking, to go back to your old ways of thinking. Go back to the road that you already know how it's going to end. And I get the sense that this is not a bug, it is a feature.
If you frame a personal challenge as an opportunity to overcome and improve yourself, these things that seem so horrible are actually very positive components of your existence, and they're gonna make you better.
Failure is a requisite probability for taking action. And so anyone who has failed has taken more action than someone who's done nothing, which means it increases the likelihood that they are successful. And so when you fail, you get feedback. And when you get feedback, you get better. And when you get better, it increases the likelihood you win.
If you can learn a lesson when you make the mistake and not make the mistake twice, and you're gritty enough to not quit, you have what it takes to succeed, but it's going to take time and it's going to be hard. And you're not going to live the same life as all of your friends and all of your family, and they're not going to understand it. And they're going to criticize you, and they're going to laugh at you, and they're going to make jokes about it, because that's not the path that they are on.
You're doing this for you. And this is something I've only realized relatively recently, but after a certain level of material comfort, the only person that you need to do this thing for is you. Your conscience knows when you're being honest and when you're not. I think optimizing to make that person happy, that conscience happy, is a really good idea.
I'm telling you right now, man, as a winner, 80% of the time you're gonna feel like you're failing. 15% of the time you're gonna feel like you're just treading water. You just got your nose above the waterline. 4% of the time you feel like it's fucking over. This is it, I'm about to tap out, but you don't, because that 1% of the time, my friend, that 1% of the time is when you know you're winning. And you go, I'm gonna take these 1%ers, I'm gonna stack them and stack them and stack them and stack them. And you know what happens when you stack winning over years and decades? You become a fucking formidable force to be reckoned with.
If you go visit the darkness that you've been running from, you'll have the opportunity to leave a better person. You'll have a better understanding of yourself. You'll have a better understanding of your purpose. But if you don't take that trip and the darkness comes visits you, it's a guest that will never leave.
If you didn't withdraw in fear from anything, from everything that life threw at you, who could you become?
The reason the goal isn't coming at you fast enough is because every person you've seen accomplish the goal, you only see it the moment they accomplish it. And the reason that it hurts so much when people are like, must be nice, oh, that happened overnight, is because every time you fail, no one cares and no one sees. But when you finally win, people take notice. But it's the only time they notice is when you actually win.
Just get started. Just get started. The longest time in the world is the hesitation between thought and action. Well, at least it has the potential to be the longest time. It can actually be forever.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life, accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. Fall forward. This is what I mean. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb.
Ultimately, you are doing things not to say that you've done them, but for the experience of having done them. When you look back, It's the experience itself and not just the outcome that matters. And one of the big determining factors in how you feel will be the outcome. Do not derogate how important the actual process and making sure that you enjoy it is.
You can hesitate for 1 second to get started on something, a workout, a project, a task, something that you know you should do. You can hesitate for 1 second. That 1 second of hesitation, all of a sudden it turns into 5 seconds, and then 10 seconds, and then 10 minutes. And then just like that, you drifted into the eternity zone. 1 second became an eternity because something that was gonna happen is now never gonna happen, ever. Why is that? Because you hesitated. You hesitated. So don't take that chance. Instead, take action. Take action. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. You've had enough damn rest. Go take action.
Nothing hard lasts forever. So no matter what, it always ends. You only lose when you quit before you see it all the way through. And I think that's incredibly encouraging. So no matter how hard whatever it is that you're doing is, which by the way just means that your expectation doesn't match reality, but no matter how hard it is, you either quit, it gets easier because something changes externally, or you get harder, something changes internally. But no matter what, it will end.
Having a clue is overrated. There's this funny myth that people actually know what they're doing. I've spent time around some of the richest, smartest, highest status people on the planet, and let me tell you, it's idiots all the way up. Normalize saying, I don't have a clue, I'm going to work out how to do it anyway. Having a clue is overrated.
The most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. You wake up with it, you walk around with it, you go to bed with it. Eventually, you act on it. Sometimes you act on it good, sometimes bad. You gotta change the internal dialogue. That person in your head that's talking that shit to you, until you change the internal dialogue in your head, until you callous over the victim's mentality that the world is out to get you because of you are the only, you gotta change that shit, man.
I think it's good to remember that if we just go along with the crowd, we won't wind up with much more than the wish that we could do it all over again, and as far as we know, you can't. If we want to amount to anything as individuals, we need individual goals, individual thinking, individual actions, and we must never conform to the big group.
Do what you do, right? Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing, and stay focused on what it is that you feel God has called you to do specifically. That's your greatness. That's where your power is. And I told a cat one day, I said, man, stop rushing based upon social media. I said, the part you forget, nobody showed you the failures. Nobody showed you the shortcomings. People very rarely show you the adversity and the opposition. And so do what you do. Right? Approach it how you approach it. That's what God will bless you upon. It's not you doing it in a way that somebody else does it. No, he placed greatness in you. Do it how you do it, in a way that only you can do it, so God can bless it.
Ultimately, happiness comes down to choosing between the discomfort of becoming aware of our mental afflictions and the discomfort of becoming ruled by them.
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures, because now you know what not to do.
Here's the uncomfortable truth, which is that winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners, and you never receive hate from above, always below, because winners have their eyes on the goal, not on other people. And so you have to decide whether you want to be a loser or a winner. And I'm just being real with you. What this looks like in reality: first, you look like an idiot to everyone else while you try to figure it out. Then, everyone else looks like an idiot for ever doubting you. Seasons.
And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win. And that's life. Life without those challenges, it's just existence. Don't just exist. Go live.
Everything you going through is God preparing you for where he taking you. As long as you waking up, it ain't over. I don't care what you do to me. If God wake me up tomorrow morning, that's another shot. I used to question God with a lot of his decisions with me. I used to ask God all the time, why you taking me through all these deep troubled waters? And the answer was, because your enemies can't swim.
Your dreams and thoughts better be so big that they better scare you. They better scare you.
Why?
Because you're not thinking big enough then. You don't want it. It has to be something that nobody else has thought about before or done before.
When you start to build yourself up and start to have the one thing that we don't have is confidence.
Yep.
Real, authentic confidence from hard work. Everything else goes away. You no longer look to other people for your self-esteem.
For validation.
That's right.
Yeah.
You now know. I walk in a room now and I know the hours and years and decades I put into David Goggins.
This is a hard journey. What you're doing is hard. Most people aren't doing it. In fact, 99% of people are not on the same path as you. 99 out of 100, 9 out of 10 people that you interact with on a daily basis are not going to get it. They are not going to understand. They are not going to approve. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to feel strange because they're surrounded by someone like you that is alien to them. They can't figure out why they're not like that. And they see you going out and doing all of these things, working to create the best possible version of you, to build something special. And they inherently understand that they aren't, and they know what that's going to produce. So yes, they're going to hate you a little bit. Yes, they're going to talk shit. Yes, they're going to try to convince you to be like them. And you know what you have to do? You have to ignore it all, and you have to keep moving.
Competition's out there. If you want to kind of go out there and take market share from others and you want to get bigger, you can't expect for people to sit there and like everything you're doing. That's when I realized you got to choose your enemies wisely.
People want you to do well. They just don't want you to do better than that.
Yes.
But they're jealous of what you've got. They're not jealous of how you got it. Who would you have to be to do that? And we're all chasing something, right? I think we're chasing imposter syndrome. As you level up, you should feel like, do I belong here?
You have to take yourself seriously. You have to know that you're a monster and that you're capable of terrible things, and that you have a responsibility to understand that, to incorporate it, to constrain it, and to discipline it, and then to work for the alleviation of suffering and the constraint of malevolence. And if you understand that, then it can turn your life into a noble enterprise. And then you have some self-respect, which beats the hell out of self-esteem, in my estimation.
Let me show you something about yourself. For all the bad days you've ever had, for every day that you thought you wasn't gonna get through, for every period in your life you did not see no way you could come out on the other side, your track record for surviving them bad days is 100%. You have survived every single one of them. Your track record for surviving bad days, y'all, is 100%.
I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible. The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
I now see anything is possible, and that you could train for anything. There's nothing you can't do.
And even if you're not where you want to be in life and you're grinding and you're on that hustle.
And there's a lot of people like that, right?
I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this fucking beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
Thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. It's open-ended. It's wide.
Man.
It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
Have faith that whatever stresses that you're facing right now will lead to a greater version of you in the future. The challenge that you're facing is a gift. Leaning into the discomfort as if you invited it through the door, saying thank you for the opportunity to learn and reflect because it's making you better.
So if your false identity says that you're a loser, you're a deadbeat, you're not deserving, you're a failure, you're not worthy, you will find evidence in the world to reinforce that. If your identity then says, I'm a winner, I'm deserving, then I will always find evidence in the world to find that. And so I'm here to tell you this. It starts off with rewriting your story. Be specific about how you want your life to look. And then once you write that down, go, what are the habits that this motherfucker needs to have in order to bring that story to life? When you bring that story to life, the false identity sheds and the new identity is developed.
The world belongs to optimists, because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will.
The cynics get to be right and the optimists get to be rich.
I've been wrong more times than I've been right. I have failed more times than I've succeeded. But you always succeed more and are right more in the big ways than the people who've been right all along, 99% right and 100% wrong. They're right 99% of the time, but they're wrong 100% because the only thing that matters is the big one at the end.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
Just take action, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward. And actually pushing the edges showed me that coming back to the center is a blessing.
If you want to get somewhere specific, then you better take control of the wheel and you better drive that car where you want it to go. Grab the steering wheel and drive your life where you want it to be. Do not just let things happen. You have to be default aggressive and make things happen.
According to all aerodynamic laws, the bumblebee cannot fly because its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. But ignoring these laws, the bee flies anyway.